What if I told you that the most profound answer to humanity's oldest question isn't an answer at all? For thousands of years, philosophers, scientists, and spiritual seekers have been obsessed with one question: where did everything come from? But when people brought this question to Buddha, he did something completely unexpected. He smiled, remained silent, and in that silence, he shattered every assumption we've ever made about existence itself. What he revealed wasn't just about the origins of the universe. It was about the very nature of your mind, your suffering, and the illusion that keeps you trapped in endless cycles of seeking. Stay with me, because understanding this will fundamentally change how you see reality. The question itself reveals everything. When people approached Buddha asking who created the universe, they weren't just curious about cosmology. They were seeking comfort, certainty, a foundation to stand on in the vast uncertainty of existence. But Buddha saw something deeper. He recognized that the question itself was born from a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of reality. The human mind, conditioned by its own limitations, cannot conceive of anything existing without a cause. We need beginnings and endings, because that's how we organize our experience of time. We need creators, because we cannot imagine things arising on their own. This isn't wisdom. This is the mind's desperate attempt to feel safe in mystery. Buddha's response was revolutionary because he didn't answer the question. He dismantled it entirely. He said that existence has no beginning because existence simply is. Think about what this means. We live in a culture obsessed with origins. We want to know where we came from, who made us, what our purpose is. We build entire religions and scientific theories around the concept of a first cause. But Buddha pointed to something that most people miss entirely. If you say God created the universe, then who created God? And who created the creator of God? This chain of causation never ends. It's an infinite regress that leads nowhere except into more questions, more theories, more mental constructs that keep you trapped in thinking rather than seeing. So Buddha cut through it completely. He introduced the concept of dependent origination, which states that things arise in dependence on other things. Nothing exists independently. Everything is interconnected in an infinite web of causes and conditions. When this is, that is. When this disappears, that disappears. There is no outside force pulling the strings. There is only this mysterious, self-organizing dance of existence where everything influences everything else in an endless cycle of arising and passing away. The universe isn't a creation, it's a process. It's not a product made by a divine craftsman. It's an ongoing, dynamic flow that has no beginning and no end, just like waves arising from the ocean and dissolving back into it. Now here's where it gets even more profound. Buddha used the word suchness to describe reality as it is, before the mind labels it, conceptualizes it, or tries to explain it. Suchness means things are simply as they are. The trees grow not because someone commands them to grow, but because growing is their nature. Water flows downward not because of divine instruction, but because of its inherent qualities. Fire burns, earth supports, wind moves. All of this happens naturally, spontaneously, without a cosmic director orchestrating the show. When you truly understand this, something radical happens. You stop looking for meaning outside of life itself. You stop waiting for some external authority to tell you why you exist. You realize that life has no meaning apart from living. The meaning of life is life itself, unfolding moment by moment. But people struggle with this. They ask, if there's no creator, if there's no divine plan, then what's the point? Why should I care? Why should I try? And this is where Buddha's teaching becomes deeply practical. He said that asking these questions is like someone shot with an arrow who refuses medical treatment until they know who shot the arrow, what kind of wood it's made from, and why the archer decided to shoot. Meanwhile, they're bleeding out. The real question isn't who created the universe. The real question is who is suffering right now. Who is confused right now? Who is the one asking all these questions? When you turn the question inward, everything changes. You stop being a spectator trying to understand existence from the outside. You realize you are existence examining itself. This is the key to Buddha's entire teaching. You are not separate from the universe. You are not a stranger wandering through a foreign land created by someone else. You are the universe in human form, experiencing itself subjectively. The same energy that ignites stars is flowing through your veins right now. The same natural order that governs galaxies governs your heartbeat. There is no separation. The illusion of separation is what causes suffering. We feel isolated, disconnected, lost in a cosmos that seems indifferent to our existence. But when you look deeply, when you go beyond concepts and theories and actually observe reality directly through meditation and awareness, you discover that this separation never existed. It was a story created by thought, and thought cannot touch the vastness of what is. Buddha wasn't an atheist, and he wasn't a theist either. He transcended both positions because he understood that belief itself is the problem. Whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, you're still trapped in the realm of belief, which is just another mental construct. He said the question of whether God exists is irrelevant to awakening. Because if you're asleep, caught in the dream of separation and suffering, even if God appeared before you, you wouldn't recognize it. And if you're awake, if you've seen through the illusion, then the whole universe becomes sacred. You don't need to believe in divinity because you experience it directly in every blade of grass, every breath, every moment of existence. So Buddha's silence was his answer. When asked again and again about the origin of the universe, he sometimes smiled, sometimes remained quiet, and his most devoted disciples understood. That silence contained more truth than any philosophical system ever created. It pointed to something that cannot be captured in words, something that can only be known through direct experience. There was never a beginning. There is no creator behind the curtain. There is only this eternal now, this vast suchness, this mysterious dance of existence that needs no origin, no explanation, no purpose beyond itself. And when you stop searching for answers outside yourself, when you become silent enough to listen deeply, you feel it. You feel the pulse of life that has no beginning and no end. You realize you are not in the universe. You are the universe. And that realization is the end of all questions and the beginning of true freedom.